Here's the question. How do you make the impossible possible? Simple. Remove the I am, the ego. Now, how do you step into that newfound possibility? With a series of small intentional steps. Never forget, the greatest among us started from humble beginnings. But to truly unlock your potential, realize you're here for something greater. If you're yearning for more than just a good life, let's take that small step together to reach greatness. Welcome to the Greatness from Small Beginnings podcast, where we're talking to those who have gone from mediocrity to motivated, overlooked to overachieving, forgettable to unforgettable. Are you ready? Let's go. Well, hello, everybody. Good morning. Well, if you're listening in the morning, hopefully people are not listening only on Monday mornings when this comes out. But I wanted to go through a list of gifts from a book. I'm doing a book report today from a book called The Ultimate Life, and it's by Jim Stovall. And it is based on a book called The Ultimate Gift, which are both interesting listens. I'm not sure I would spend the time reading them, to be honest, but I listen to them on audiobook and they're interesting. And I'll give more context as I go. Let me go through them real quick. There's 12 of them. 1, work. 2, money. 3, friend or friendship. 4, learning. 5, problems. 6, family. 7, laughter. 8, dreams. 9, giving. 10, gratitude. 11, last day. What would you do if it was your last day? And then 12, the gift of love. So here we go. Work. Work is a good one to consider. In this book, he sent his grandson, who in the book he's introduced as a nephew because apparently he didn't like him. They didn't like each other. But the grandfather, the main character in the book, made a lot of money and realized last minute that he had ruined his family and saw some light with being able to give this gift to this particular grandson. And he required him to do these things to get his inheritance. And one of the things he required him to do was to go figure out how to work. So in 30 days, he sent him to a friend's ranch, and he was tasked with building a fence. And in a month, I don't know how far he went, but probably close to a mile or maybe 2. But ended up learning about work, about hard work. And it's hard to do that in 30 days. And so it is a fictional book. And yet work is a very important item. And most of you I'm talking to are taking time off of something else you could be doing to listen to this, which I appreciate. But I don't think that work is such an issue for most of us. It's part of our American culture, all those things. So that being said, I'm going to move on to the next one is money. How do we appreciate money, especially in relation to the work? In this book, he wants to give his grandson the thought that if we work, we earn. And then when we earn, the money means more to us, the resource. And that's what he ends up doing. He ends up having him give some money away to those that money really mattered to, because this grandson, it didn't mean that much to him because he had been given he was a trust fund baby, basically. The gift of friends. He goes through in this book the importance of working through friendship and finding friends and not buying friends, in essence, and how to nurture an important, lasting friendship with somebody, and where does that come from? And it goes into some examples of getting to know this blind guy, which I'll mention again in a minute. So all of you out there, I have realized in myself that I need more friends. I need more good friends. So I have started, and I haven't made a rule out of it yet, probably, but I have started reaching out to some people every now and then. I was challenged with the idea that if I reach out with somebody without wanting anything in return, just asking, how are you? Maybe I appreciate you, something like that, and not expect anything back. And honestly, in the motivation of the heart, don't send it if you expect something. And I've done that a couple of times and was very thrilled with the response, that it was just a reconnect, and I really enjoyed it. Don't have very many friends that I spend a lot of time with regularly, and I need to do that. I need to do that more regularly. Learning. In the book, he sends them to another country, which I have done also, and it did help me understand what I was looking at in regards to needing to learn more, because I need to understand cultures. I need to understand other people's position in life and realize that I'm very well off in most ways, not just money, but I have so many resources available to me, and learning resources. And when you get around somebody that doesn't have as many resources, often what you'll find is that they just devour the knowledge, the learning, and then as a nature, it's natural for them then to just start applying things that they learn, where we learn so much that there's no possible way we could apply everything. Number 5, problems. Help people with problems. See problems. See problems is a good thing. One of the ones later on that I mentioned earlier was gratitude. And if we see problems with an air of thanksgiving, an air of gratitude, then they become an asset and they teach us things. They go back to learning. They help us learn things. That matters so much. And then family. How do we, when we are not always connected. I have a big family, and I'm glad for that. I have a big extended family on my wife's side also. And recently there was quite an event, and there was a lot of family around for a couple of weeks, and it really was good to be in the group, to be one of them. Again, I'm an in-law, and it is different, but family is important. And in the book, there's a challenge about how to go find family of choice as opposed to family of birth. And it is a choice also to choose them as your family and to act like that. I am working on through that with some very difficult relationships right now, choosing them as a priority. The gift of laughter. Oh man, happiness and laughter, as I'm discovering in my older years, there's things that come in and stress us out, stress me out, and I have to choose to be happy. I have to choose to laugh. I have to choose to look for things that are joyful, that are good, that are wonderful, and miraculous and astounding. And laughter is one of those things I need to look for, and I need to enjoy it as I can. Dreams. The point that was made earlier in the book, I was just listening to this section, is that many people don't have dreams. And if they do have dreams, they're actually unrealistic. And there's nothing wrong with that, because as we move through life, we can adjust our dreams and become or do something that is amazing because we once had a dream that it was like this and it ended up being this other thing that actually suits us better. Like when we're a kid, like what we want to be I wanted to be a football player. Well, ends up I don't have the body for that. The body type, the body size, any of those things, or the opportunity to do it. And so that never really was in the cards for me, but I loved that dream. And that dream then became something else and something that's more suited for me. The gift of giving. The gift of giving is interesting because if we look around for things that we can give that don't necessarily have monetary value, but there's something we possess, maybe it's giving up a parking space to someone else out of kindness for them. Okay, here, you take that one, and I'll just go park further out. Or doing something kind for somebody based on something we possess, something that we own, which is often giving a smile or a thank you or a how are you today, and then stop for a moment and listen to the answer. Giving is not, of course, it can be related to money, and it can also be related to how we help people solve problems, but it doesn't necessarily mean that it always has to do with either one of those things. So having a giving eye and looking for a way to give is always a good thing. Number 10, gratitude. boy, do we need to see problems and family and laughter and friends and money and work. We need to see all of that through a lens of gratitude, that we're thankful for the things and then grateful for what they produce, what they provide in our life. And those things are so good to see. And then uh, the 11th thing is last day. I'm working on a project. Recently, I was at a memorial service, and the person somehow had an idea that they were going to pass away, though it was odd. Um, and they did their own eulogy, and it was so recent that it was appropriate. Spoke to families, spoke to kids, their kids. They spoke to friends, and spoke in such a way that it was a little bit humorous and also very touching. And so, what would I do if today was my last day? I need to remember that that is what I need to do. That is the things that I need to activate in my life and to consistently work on is, what if today was the last day? And I suppose it could be, like it could be. And so I need to act like it is. And then number 12 is the gift of love. In the book, he basically provided a gift of mercy for his family members and others that didn't deserve anything. Actually, they deserved quite the opposite. And that's how the story went, is that he gave these people these things. And he didn't have to. And isn't that what we often need to do as gifts of love, is we need to see the grace we've been given. We've been given so much opportunity, so much provision, so much success, though we've worked for it in many cases. But we've been provided so many opportunities and so many resources. And what we need to consider doing is not based on someone's ability to deserve it or pay it back, is to offer gifts of love to others. And especially those that are to us difficult. And then it adjusts what we are and how loving we are. And it makes it makes our lives more full, because then we're giving of ourselves. And that's what I am encouraging myself with. That's what talking to the Lord this morning brought me, is that I need to take responsibility for a few certain things in my life. And when I do that, then he's going to gift me back things. And I don't anticipate necessarily what he is going to give me back, but that he will, because he is consistently over my longer life has done that, and he will do the same for you. So this, like I said, is a book report, and it has to do with, I'll raise up so you can see my sic parvis magna, which is greatness from small beginnings. That's how that is. Uh, that's how that's translated. The reason that that matters is that if we're not thinking about things like these and others, and listening to books um, and videos and reading things, the scripture and other things that are encouraging to our heart, that are also instructive and also confronting those things in us that are not so good, then how can we expect to get better? That's what greatness has in it. One of the components of being great, greatness from small beginnings. Small beginnings can be a lot of different things. It can be a complete disaster of a life. It can be just coming from nothing financially and a mindset of poverty, and then working our way away from that mindset to God's way of thinking about success and prosperity. And believe me, there's a big problem there. My mind and heart gets in the way, because I came from nothing. Not that my parents were completely poor. They both worked. We had every meal we needed. We never missed a meal. And I'm grateful for that. But I know there was a lot of struggles that I didn't know anything about throughout all those years of being raised. And so those are small beginnings, but the greatness comes when we start switching our mindset, and then we listen to things and work on things and resonate and meditate on things that are going to make us better. So that being said, I'm going to read what I always do at the end, which I think is amazing. It's a Zig Ziglar quote. By the way, get the book, listen to it. It's simple. You can miss a little bit of it and still understand the concept of what's going on, but you'll want to hear it all probably. Get the book. First, The Ultimate Gift. It's actually a really good book. And then there's another one. Man, I can't remember the name of it, but The Ultimate Life is based on the ultimate gift as a book. But there's other books that the guy's written that are also very good. There were stuff comes out of his diary and whatever. So Zig Ziglar said, along with many other things, you were designed for accomplishment, engineered for success, and endowed with the seeds of greatness. That's you. You are on the road to greatness. You can be great. And I certainly believe you can. I believe for myself I can. And I also know that I'm a little ways from it. And so I'm on the same road as you. That being said, let me finish off by giving you the call to action. Now, go be great.